Narrows versus Kōnane. Kōnane is a traditional Hawaiian game invented thousands of years ago. Inspired by Kōnane, I designed a somewhat similar game, Narrows, in 2026. A comparison of the two games may be of academic interest, and it may be of interest to Kōnane players, considering a fresh use of the papamu they already have. As the inventor of Narrows, of course I'm biased. I'm not trying to design games worse than what's already out there, but rather games that are at least as good and maybe even a little better. Much of this discussion will be subjective, but I'll try to keep it as objective as possible. I will assume that you understand how both games are played. See the third video in this series for the Narrows rules. I like to consider the aesthetics of a game, independent of the gameplay that emerges from it. A big part of this is the simplicity of the rule set and the equipment. Kōnane is hard to beat on this front. Basically, a rectangular grid with at least one even side to facilitate a symmetrical initial checkerboard pattern setup of simple black and white pieces. Orthogonal jump captures. Last move wins. Couple of caveats. It's not exactly a simple checkerboard pattern. It's a checkerboard pattern missing two stones in or near the center. In an otherwise ultra-simple game, that's a big detail. Another big detail is the choice between single jumps and multiple straight line jumps when both are possible. Narrows takes a lot more words to describe than Kōnane. But in short, Narrows also starts with a checkerboard pattern setup of simple black and white pieces. Unlike Kōnane, it's a complete uniform pattern, no holes. Moves are rook captures. That's the only type of move you can make. No choice of single captures or multiple captures like in Kōnane, just single captures. The Narrows goal is inter-island access. This is where the Narrows explanation gets complicated. What's an island? What's inter-island access? Conceptually though, once you understand it, Narrows is not complicated at all. The tagline for Mark Steer Games is savagely innovative. Nothing exemplifies this more than Narrows. Partly, it's the extreme uniqueness of the Narrows goal, inter-island access, which no other game has. In stark contrast, the last move wins goal of Kōnane is very common among abstract games, particularly in the realm of combinatorials. Kōnane was plenty innovative when it was invented thousands of years ago, but now, in the 21st century, it takes a little more glamour to make a splash. The other innovative feature of Narrows is how it guarantees a decisive victory every time. It may not be immediately obvious, but until someone achieves the winning criteria, there will always be a move available. Another way of looking at it is that if you don't have a capturing move available, someone must have already won. Last move wins is my least favorite goal. I like a concrete, meaningful goal like annihilate the enemy. Not just, oops, I can't find a move. I guess I lose. It's anticlimactic, underwhelming, and deflating. Narrows delivers a clear, satisfying conclusion. Narrows is brand new and hasn't been played much yet. It's hard to compare the gameplay of the two games, so I'll come back to the topics of richness, clarity, and depth later, after talented players have had some experience playing both games. Narrows should be played on a larger board because you'll achieve inter-island access sooner than you'd run out of moves in Kōnane on the same size board. If you set the board sizes to make both games have about the same number of turns, the Narrows game tree would be much more dense. You can capture any orthogonal enemy stone at any distance in Narrows. In Kōnane, you can only capture orthogonally adjacent enemy stones, and only those with an empty pit on the other side. Narrows has far more options per turn than Kōnane. The multiple jumps of Kōnane doesn't expand its game tree to anywhere near the size of the Narrows game tree. In the absence of player feedback, allow me to speculate a little about the comparative player experiences of the two games. In terms of strategic richness, Narrows has a higher branching factor and long-range interactions, which can lead to more dynamic mid-game decisions compared to the more localized chaining tactics of Kōnane. Kōnane's strength lies in its elegant, puzzle-like purity and historical resonance. Narrows, meanwhile, offers something rare in abstracts, a goal that feels narrative and goal-oriented rather than purely attrition-based. This could broaden its appeal to players who find last move wins games abstract to the point of detachment. Both games benefit from the same beautiful, minimalist equipment, making Narrows a natural companion to Kōnane players. While Kōnane remains a timeless classic, Narrows builds on its foundation with a fresh mechanism and a thematic objective. Narrows has an obvious, natural, well-fitting island theme, whereas Kōnane marketers have screwed a forced, awkward, ill-fitting resource management theme onto Kōnane. In conclusion, Narrows is a little more sophisticated than Kōnane. Narrows places more emphasis on board-spanning structures, path building, and controlling space dynamically. This gives Narrows a broader strategic palette. Players have to manage connectivity, territory, and long-range interactions in ways Kōnane doesn't require. The rules of Narrows remain very clean, but the decision space is richer and more multi-layered. Narrows is a modern evolution, still minimalist, but with more sophisticated strategic texture and more ways for skill to express itself.